Hey, welcome to Real Talk Baseball. I am Will Power here with Chavi the Commish. Today we are going over the news and notes, two-star pitchers, weekend streamers, most added players, and our final segment is he legit or nah? All coming up on Real Talk Fantasy Baseball. All right. So Javi, today Pennsylvania has been crazy weather over here, man. That rain.
I don't like it.
We got my son has prom today. He's only a junior,
Oh,
but apparently they let juniors go to prom over here. It's not like that in LA, from what I remember.
who fucking knew, bro? Dude, it's funny because I was supposed to work this weekend, and I was like, this is a perfect weekend to go and put in some OT because the weather sucks right now. And then they told me this morning, like, oh yeah, all the overtime is canceled. I'm like, I mean, cool, I get to be home, but there goes all that money out
Yeah.
the window.
Hey, you need a break sometimes, though, man. You
No,
work
yes,
hard. You work
yes,
too much.
dude.
So take
Yeah,
take it as a blessing that
hell yeah, I'll take it all
maybe
day.
it was fate. You're just supposed to have this weekend off.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How you been, bro?
Just trying to get by. I actually have a 4-day weekend this weekend. Well, I wasn't supposed to yesterday.
Ooh.
I had a lot of stuff to catch up on, errands and stuff. So yesterday I took the day off, and I actually was scheduled off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So
Oh, nice.
nice little 4-day weekend.
Right on.
Yeah, and then I think I have a 4-day weekend next weekend also. I have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah,
Right
that'll be
on,
good.
man. I'm jealous.
All right. Well, so I kind of want to save the news and notes for a little bit later. What do you think about going into the two-star pitchers right away?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So two-star pitchers for next week. There's a lot of crap in there, man. There's very little pitchers that I would actually even like give the time of day when it comes to the two-star pitchers for next week. There's a couple guys that I saw they're slated for two starts. Guys like Mason Miller from the A's,
Yeah.
who is potentially supposed to be their ace, sometime in the future. But this guy can't get past 4 innings. But anyway,
I
so it
like
looks like
him.
he's actually starting on Sunday. So
Yeah.
he's not going to have the two starts next week. So out of all the two-star pitchers for next week, who do you think that you would recommend the most?
So, like you said, I see that there's not a lot to go off of, but there is one guy that has kind of stood out for me, and that's the dude that dominated the Dodgers. I think it was I don't know if it was the last game or the game before, but Drew Smiley. 2-1, 2-1, 3.21 ERA. He dominated the Dodgers, man. I was shocked because, he's not he's not old, but I think he's 31, 31, 32. But dude, he went seven deep and he struck out 10 guys. And this dude doesn't have like a power arm per se. So when I saw that he struck out 10 dudes, I was like, what the hell is going on? Either he's on his A game or the Dodgers just can't buy a hit, man. And he showed out, and I think he's playing the Nationals at Washington and then the Marlins at home. And both of those offenses are kind of weak. So I can see him going 2-0 against on in his two starts for next week.
Sorry, let me get back to there. It is. All right, sorry, trying to get used to this StreamYard stuff. So I actually, it's funny that you say Drew Smiley, because Drew Smiley is actually the #1 added pitcher for this past week, and
Mhm.
with good reason, man. I'm looking at this, and Smiley has been quietly having one of the best seasons of his career so far. You know, it's
Mhm.
a small sample size because
Right.
it's still the beginning of the season. I believe he's only made 5 starts so far, but
Yeah.
he has an ERA of 3.21, expected ERA of 2.35. Expected batting average against is only 188 right now. So the K rate is good. Walk rate is really good. It's only at a
Yeah.
5.5% right now. The only thing that I don't like about Drew Smiley, dude, everything points to him having a career year is he only has 3 pitches. Well, he actually has 4. He just hasn't thrown the changeup at all this season yet.
Right.
But he has a sinker, a curveball, and a cutter. And it's actually he's really only mainly like a 2 pitch pitcher.
Yeah.
He's been throwing the sinker a lot and the curveball a lot. He also has a cutter, but the cutter he's only been throwing 5%. So
Right.
that's the part that kind of scares me. I
Dude,
really like
he's only allowed 2 runs in all 5 of his
he's
starts,
been
man.
amazing.
What
And
the hell?
dude, the expected ERA of 2.35.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
I really think it's because on the sinker, he has a 20% whiff rate, and on the curveball, he has a 36% whiff rate. So he's getting a lot of swings and misses, even
Yeah.
though he's really just like a 2 pitch pitcher, which is generally what you want to see from a bullpen arm, not really a starting pitcher.
Right.
It's working for him. So I actually offered a trade to someone to try to acquire Drew Smiley. I offered Jose Abreu for Drew Smiley.
Mm.
And I know I'm
That's not a bad
overpaying.
trade.
I think I'm overpaying just a little bit if he actually accepts it.
Yeah.
But because the pitchers for fantasy baseball this season have just not been what we expected,
Yeah,
maybe
there's been a lot of dudes like that have been slow out the gate, man. Like a
it
lot.
it could be, a combination of things. It could be banning the shift has hurt a
Mhm.
lot of these pitchers. We knew that batting averages and hits were going to go up. Um,
The pitch clock,
The
that might
pitch clock,
Yep,
yeah, man.
yep.
These new rule changes, we're actually finally starting to see what type of effect it really has on the baseball season. It's hard to see that in spring training because you don't really get to see so much of this. But now we have stats coming out for multiple starts for these pitchers, and
Right.
it's interesting to see kind of what's going on. I
Yeah.
really want to see what the stats are this season versus last season once all is said and done.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
he could easily go 4-1 by the end of next week, easily, and drop that ERA down maybe below 3. Because like you said, like I was saying earlier, I mean, you don't, you hear Drew Smiley and you don't think, yo, that guy dominates, or he's, he can pitch, but have you ever really seen him as one of them like all-star type pitchers? I haven't.
no, I mean,
His seasons have always been up and down,
yeah,
always, always. So, for him to, to be at a pace that he's at right now, like you said, small sample size, but I mean, shit, bro. Like, hey, if you could dominate the Dodgers like that,
yeah,
something's working for
seriously,
you, man. Because the Dodgers don't strike out, dude. They hit or walk, and he struck out 10 of these guys, and I was like, what?
yeah.
When? You know? But yeah, man, that's who sticks out for me.
Yeah, I really like Drew Smiley, and I had a feeling that you were actually going to pick him as your 2 star pitcher. So I came up with a backup. He was actually my number one.
Mm.
My 2 star pitcher recommendation is Hayden Wisniewski.
Oh, the Cubs.
He's kind of been up and down also. ERA is pretty inflated. It's at a 5.24. The thing that I really like about him is after his first 2 starts that were extremely bad, he had a combined 8 earned runs in 6 innings pitched in the first 2 starts. And since then, he's faced the Dodgers, the Padres, and the A's, and now he's brought his ERA actually down quite significantly. It's still pretty inflated because of those first 2 starts, but in his past 4 starts, he has a 2.80 ERA. And now
Mm.
going into next week, he is actually at Washington and versus Miami. So 2 solid matchups coming up, and
Yeah.
only only having a 2.80 ERA in his last 3 starts against the Dodgers, Padres, and A's, that's something that's it sticks out to me a bit, especially because Dodgers and Padres are supposed to be the powerhouses of the National League West division, and if he can hold them to that, I don't know, man. I know he's young, only 25 years old, doesn't play for the best team. He's on the Cubs, but I see
they've been all right. They've been all right this season.
They've been all right, but they also play in the Central, so it's hard to really gauge how good a team is when they play majority of their games against weaker teams as well.
Yeah, true.
So I do like your pick, Drew Smyly. That would definitely be the one for me, and Hayden Wesneski is my pick.
Yeah, I don't know much about Wesneski, but I think any pitcher that's a Cubs pitcher for next week, they should have should be all right, man. Like I said, those 2 teams that they're playing, they're pretty much a couple of the weaker teams in the league right now.
Yeah, I've even heard some people call those lineups like they're basically AAA lineups, except for I know, except for like a couple, hidden treasures inside there. The Nationals, I mean, they don't really have anyone that really sticks out to me too much batting wise, unless there's someone I'm not thinking of. The Marlins actually have a pretty decent amount of hitters that are coming around, hopefully Jazz Chisholm can stay healthy. I think that's one guy that can really stand out in their lineup. But the problem is he just can't stay healthy. So hopefully he'll be able to play, majority of the games this season, and we can actually
they got some good young arms coming up from AAA from the minors. So I mean, I guess you just play the waiting game now, and see what comes up out of there.
That's what a lot of people were thinking about from the White Sox as well. They have good young talent coming up, pitchers and hitters. It's just some teams can put it together and some teams can't, and the White Sox just seem like one of those teams that just haven't been able to put it together yet.
Felix, man.
Felix is on right now. Will, my friend, and what's up, Felix? Glad you came in. I don't know.
Gunning for you, homie.
What's this right here, Javi? Ibnu Jamil game day. Come on, bro. What's up with this? What's up with the freaking spam on the podcast?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, that's not cool. But Felix, I'm glad that you're in the show right now. Don't be stealing any of my tricks, because I think I face you either next week or the week after. So keeping an eye on you.
I'm waiting for our matchup, dog.
Me and you?
That's my rival.
Me and you, or you and Felix?
No, me and Felix. It was made official over the draft. Like, you're my rival, dog. He's gunning for me. I know he is.
Yeah. I saw him in the chat. He was pretty active in the chat. Javi, I hate you, and you're going down or something.
Hell yeah.
All right, so that's it for 2-star pitchers. Moving on to the news and notes. So this kind of really frustrated the heck out of me, man. Taj Bradley, the pitcher from the Rays that I've been so high on, was sent back down to AAA. So what some people are saying
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got sent back down to AAA. Even though he held the Astros to 3 earned runs, he's been looking really good in every start. So the reasoning that they're giving, which it's more like an excuse, is that Taj Bradley has been more accustomed to a 6-man rotation rather than a 5-man rotation. So they want him to get some more work in at AAA and start to work into a 5-man rotation. Yeah, stretch him out a little bit more. Make sure that he can handle pitching every 5 days rather than every 6 days. So it looks like they made room for Tyler Glasnow. Tyler Glasnow is actually supposed to come back pretty soon. I believe you have Tyler Glasnow, don't you?
No. I stayed away from him.
Yeah, no. I don't want him either. I mean, he's great when he's healthy, but when is he healthy? That's exactly what gives me some optimism about Taj Bradley also
Right.
is Glasnow's probably going to pitch, 3-4 games maybe, and then probably get hurt again, which sucks because he's such a good pitcher. But he did face some live batters on Monday. Tyler Glasnow faced live batters on Monday. He's expected to make at least 2 rehab starts and should make his 2023 season debut in about 2 weeks, maybe less. But with Glasnow's injury history, I'm not the most optimistic. For now, they're having Yanni Chirinos and Josh Fleming kind of fill in until Glasnow returns. See, and I really don't understand that. Like, why wouldn't you just let Taj Bradley make those starts until Glasnow returns? And
dude, like the fact that they're sending him back down, I mean, I understand what they're looking at the bigger picture, and I get it. But I mean, right now that there's an open spot in the rotation and you got this young guy who's hungry, he's been pitching really well. Why demote him? It kind of, I don't want to say it's gonna maybe mess with his morale a little bit, because I'm pretty sure he was thinking like, yo, this spot right here that I have right now is mine to keep. Like, I'm gonna show out, and that's what he's been doing.
he did.
So the
He
fact that
impressed. I really
yeah,
don't get it,
so
man.
dude,
But
like 3 runs against the Astros? Come on,
yeah,
man.
that's
Like a
great.
rookie? Oh, come on, dude. So
So
like I said, I understand. I understand, like they're probably looking at the bigger picture, down the line, 5-man. I don't know, man. I don't like it. I didn't really hear about it until you just said it right now, and I'm just blown away. Like, why would
So
you do that?
another thing that I've been hearing about Taj Bradley is service time. So from what I heard the other day,
I
now
hate
I don't know how much really like how much stock really goes into this, but if he gets sent down for at least 20 days in between like his like starts back up in Major League Baseball, then
something
they
about
can
an extra
actually
year, right?
they gain that year of service. The
Yeah,
team gains that year of service. So let's see what
yeah.
Jasper says. My socks are sucking hen tit. I don't know what hen tit means, but but yes,
Hindsight,
I understand what your whole meaning is. And
I
yeah,
do
dude,
understand that the Sox suck right now.
yeah, they are sucking right now, and that's actually why I'm kind of recommending that. If you have any starting pitchers that are going up against the White Sox right now, is the time to play them. They lost Jose Abreu. Tim Anderson, I believe, is still injured. A lot of those guys aren't
Dude, they
just aren't
have
hitting right now. There's no chemistry.
so, bro, they have so much talent, and they cannot put it together. It's
They just can't put it together.
mind-boggling, dude. Like, dude, I was listening to some dude that was like, dude, some angry White Sox fan called into this radio station, and he's like, Jake Berger is our best hitter.
Hey, Jake Berger is actually really good. He got some
Yeah, I
power.
know, but I mean,
Skills.
think
I
about
don't
who
know
you
why they
have on
don't
your
play him more
team.
often.
Think about who you have on your team, though. You got
Yeah,
all this young
you got some
talent,
stars.
and
You got some
dude,
stars.
and they cannot put it together, bro. I don't understand what the fuck is going on in Chicago, bro.
I
That's
don't know.
so crazy, man.
I mean, maybe it comes down to management. Maybe it comes down to the front office, and not everyone can have a front office like the Rays. So,
Yeah, yeah,
there's that. All right. So,
true
moving
that.
on, news and notes. We also have Yordan Alvarez had been dealing with neck discomfort since last week and was actually held out of the lineup Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with a possible IL stint coming. So I didn't check
Ooh.
his current status, but I will probably do that in the
He's
meantime.
young though. He's young, man. He's young. He'll heal quick.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know.
the type of guy that, like, even if he's out for a little while, you're still not going to be missing much, when it comes to season production because he's
Yeah.
just he's out of control. The type of hitter that he is, he's like a stronger um I want to say Juan Soto, but I know his playing discipline isn't that good. But it's
Hmm.
like a poor man's Juan Soto, which is
Somewhere
still
along those
really
lines.
good.
Yeah.
So looks like
Yeah.
he was held
Yeah.
out
I agree.
again from the lineup today. So the Astros are without their biggest power hitter that they have. We'll see, what's going on with him over the weekend. Maybe they might have him play, but just in case, start looking on the waiver wire for potential outfield replacements for him. Justin
Yeah.
Verlander says he's
If I was, if
99% ready. What was that?
yeah. No. Go ahead.
Justin Verlander says he is 99% ready and is expected to make his first rehab start today. Michael Harris began a rehab assignment on Wednesday, so he should be back soon. Braves closer Raisel Iglesias faced live hitters on Thursday and should be back by next weekend. This was another one that surprised me right here, dude. Jordan Walker sent down to AAA
Yeah.
after
I heard
he
about
had
that.
like a 12-game hit streak.
Yep.
He was slash at the when they finally sent him down, he was slashing 192, 250, and 831. So he hasn't really been having the best season.
Yeah,
But
that's another question mark for me. Like another dude that came out hot out the gate, and you're gonna when you're a rookie and you're playing for a team like the Cardinals, people are gonna have like these high expectations. You know what I mean? The fact that they sent them down, I think, kind of sucks because you gotta have these guys work through their stuff. When they have like a slew of games that they're just not hitting, they can't put it together. You gotta have them figure it out, and I feel like them sending these guys back down to AAA, sending them down to me, it sucks because they're starting to get used to the big league pitching, the whole the big league environment, and you know I don't know, I that was a surprise to me, um just because he came out, like hitting like on fire. So hopefully they call him back up, you know soon.
within the last couple weeks, they've been only using him as spot starting. Like he hasn't played every
Yeah.
game, so it's like they're holding him or holding him back on purpose, and I don't really understand the point of that because I understand you have Arenado holding down the hot corner for a few more years because they just re-signed him, but I
Yeah.
mean with the type of pedigree that Jordan Walker has coming up as a top 10 prospect in all of Major League Baseball, that's the type of guy that needs MLB at bats right now to get
Exactly.
accustomed to playing every single day. And he's
Yep.
one of the ones that really needs to be out there. I'm sure that they could easily find a spot for him in the lineup.
Yep.
There's other
Yep.
guys on
I
the
agree,
Cardinals
man.
roster that don't deserve, or maybe they deserve to be there, in the lineup, but maybe not on a consistent basis, especially when you have a young stud coming up that could potentially
Yep.
be, your starting third
Your
baseman in
future.
the
That's
future
your
when
future.
when
Yep.
Arenado's
Yep.
contract is over.
I
So
agree, man. I agree.
I know
This
Nolan
falls this
Gorman.
falls in it falls into the same thing as what's happening with Taj Bradley. Same thing,
Yeah,
man.
probably.
These guys came out hot, and I don't think Bradley has had a bad game. Like you said, I guess because they're either playing the service time game with him or they want to stretch him out. But with Walker, you got these older guys on there, Arenado, Goldschmidt. You need to start bringing these younger guys up and start seeing what you have. You know what I mean? And Walker was one of those dudes that, shoot, I'd leave him in there and try to figure it out because I guess after he went in hot, he slowed down a lot. But I mean, that's what happens. You can't expect him to keep up that kind of production, you know. So especially for a rookie, he's got to work through his stuff, and I feel like the Cardinals should have just let him figure it out. You know,
Yeah, they kind of gave him a very short leash, and
they
last year
did.
with
They did.
Nolan Gorman, when Nolan Gorman was a rookie, they gave him a little bit longer leash than they gave Jordan Walker.
Yeah,
Like Nolan Gorman was coming up, and he just
he
stunk up
did.
the place, and they kept him up for a
He
while.
did.
So
And he
I don't
hasn't
know,
been
man.
that. I mean, he's been decent this season too. I mean, it's not like he's you know, it's not like you're like, oh shit, have you seen what Gorman's doing? Like, he hasn't been that great either. So I mean, I don't know, man. It kind of sucks, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. That I kind of have a feeling that they're not going to keep him down for too long. He's probably going to be up soon, just like I believe that Taj Bradley is going to be up soon, just like I believe Edouard Julian is also going to be up soon from the Twins. So Edouard Julian's another one that they sent down, and I don't understand that one. Like, just give him the at bats that he needs to kind of get a rhythm going. He's not going to get a rhythm going when he goes back down to AAA, and his confidence kind of just lowers a little bit, and he's not going to be used to that MLB pitching. So I don't know. We'll see. All right.
Yeah,
Next,
that's where I think the teams kind of fuck up, you know.
Yeah. So the next we have Dodgers catcher Will Smith was on the concussion IL for a little bit longer than what they expected. It was supposed to be 7 days.
Dude, we need him
generally
so bad.
Yeah, he's been out for almost 2 weeks now, but he's back in the lineup tonight, and we'll see how he's going to handle everything. Carlos Rodon faced live hitters today. Robbie Ray, this is a big one. Robbie Ray out for the season with a flexor tendon strain requiring season-ending surgery. So
that sucks.
Anyone that has had Robbie Ray hasn't been able to use him at all. So you probably stashed him in your IL and forgot about him. But now, if you're in redraft leagues, go ahead and drop him. You can use that spot for someone else that went on the IL. I'm sure you already replaced him with another starting pitcher in recent weeks because he hasn't been there at all. But yeah, go ahead and drop Robbie Ray. No point in holding on to him now. Jose Altuve is ahead of schedule and is on track for a return in late May. So they weren't expecting him until late June and possibly July, but now he's about a month ahead of schedule. Yeah. Maybe his little body takes less time to heal, so he should be coming back pretty soon. All right.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that happening.
Tristan McKenzie is supposed to be throwing a bullpen session this weekend. Kyle Hendricks completed his first rehab start on Thursday. Did you hear what happened with Kyle Hendricks? No. It did not go so well. So he threw 1.2 innings, allowed 6 runs on 6 hits, and 1 walk while striking out 3. So Kyle Hendricks hasn't pitched in the major since July of last year. And at one point, he was very fantasy relevant. He was universally owned everywhere. Yes. He was a good pitcher, especially in points leagues. He's never really been a high strikeout pitcher. But because he would go deep into games, 6-7 innings, pretty consistently, and he was on a good team when the Cubs were good. That's why he was pretty fantasy relevant. But now, the last couple seasons have been not so great for Kyle Hendricks. So damn,
that's crazy.
I really wouldn't keep an eye on him. I don't think that he's going to be fantasy relevant anytime in the near future or the distant future. So, that was just a little update just in case anyone has hopes for Kyle Hendricks. I personally do not.
Oh, okay. I agree.
All right. So the last thing. Oh, sorry. There's two more things actually. So Max Muncy will be activated from the paternity test today. I'm not sure if he's in the lineup or not, but if you've had him on the bench, now's the time to check. I believe their game starts at 7 Pacific time, 10 Eastern, and one of the biggest news breaking things that has happened in the past few days is Aaron Judge left yesterday's contest with the right hip discomfort. Judge said that he expects to miss the next couple of days, but doesn't think an IL stint is necessary. We shall see. This is the reason why I never liked Aaron Judge as number 1 overall. I preferred Jose Ramirez. And I was very adamant about that before the season even started. Judge is a great player. We saw that last year. But last year is the first time he had a healthy season since he was a rookie. Every single season, he's always getting hurt. You know, when you got a 6'9" body with, you know, and you're carrying 300 pounds around, the body takes a lot of
Yep.
wear and tear, you know, running around in the outfield
You're in outfield,
and
definitely.
robbing home runs and crashing into walls and making diving plays. And this guy is a gamer. He wants to make the highlight play every time he's out there. It's the kind of player you want on your team, but his
Right.
body does not like the kind of player that he is. And I just I
He's like,
don't
we should
think
be
that,
playing golf, damn it.
yeah, basically. I mean, he's already 31 also. So he's not getting any younger.
Oh,
I
easy.
think I, I think that Aaron Judge is, I don't want to call him a bust, but I think he's a bust for where he was going in fantasy drafts. Number one overall. Is he the best player? Did he deserve that? Probably, yeah, because we saw what he did last season. But the health concerns, man, he's had only 2 healthy seasons in his entire 7-year career, and track record speaks for itself. If you know
Yep.
that's basically my thoughts on it.
Yeah, a guy at his size and weight to have a hip injury is a big deal because you use your hips for batting, for running, for jumping, for everything. And he's carrying around all that. I mean, he's not fat or anything, but he's tall and he's
Yeah,
thick. He's a big ass
he's a big
dude,
dude.
like
He's a big ass
yeah,
dude.
and at 6'9", bro, fuck man, like for a hip injury is a big to me it's a big deal. He says he doesn't think it'll require an IL stint. He could be definitely wrong, bro. I mean, like you said, he's getting older. Um, your body takes longer to heal. They might want to play it safe and just give him some more time to rest. Um, the team's got, they brought somebody up. I didn't catch his name, but
Mm.
I think the
I,
team is well equipped enough without him to give him a couple days rest. Give him the IL stint, have him rest, and then that way he can really try to work through the injury. Um, but yeah, I agree with you, man. Like I've never really been a big Aaron Judge guy as far as fantasy baseball goes. I've never ever had him on any of my teams, and it's for the same reasons that you just said right now. He just cannot stay healthy. Um, when healthy, powerhouse, all star, all day. This guy can crank home runs, and but what do we always get from him every season? Couple days off here, couple days off there, minor injury here, minor injury there, and it's never a full season of Aaron Judge.
yeah.
So it sucks, for whoever has him. Hopefully it's not a long hopefully it's not a lingering injury that might prohibit him from performing the way we know he can perform. But yeah, man, it sucks. It sucks, but that's what you signed up for when you drafted.
So a little bit later, we'll be going over outfield replacements, possibly for Aaron Judge if he does go on the IL. But that was basically it for the news and notes. Now we'll go into weekend streamers. If you're ready for this rapid fire thing that we do, Javi. All right, so I don't want
I
to go
am
over
fucking
Friday starters because it's already a little bit too late for that. You know, most pitchers, well, not most, but yeah, I'd say most pitchers have already started their game today. There's only a few teams that are
yeah.
actually playing, later than the 7:35 start time that it is right now. So going into the weekend streamers, we are going for Saturday, April 29. Is that right? I don't have the date written down. And
Word.
yeah, today's the
Yeah,
28th. So yes, Saturday, April 29th.
it's on your.
Nathan, what's that? You're breaking up. I can't hear you. Oh no. Did we lose you again? Javi, you there?
Okay. No, can you hear me?
Yeah. You're a little in and out, but I'm hoping you're good now. You're kind of frozen on my screen right now, and you were kind of doing like a little model pose. So that was kind of funny. Can you hear me? That's
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. All right. I think we're good now. All right. Nathan Eovaldi versus the New York Yankees.
He plays for the Rangers, right?
He plays for the Rangers.
Where are they playing?
They are at Texas.
Oh, I like Eovaldi against. He knows the Yankees. He was with Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't pitch too bad against New York. So yeah, I would say yeah.
Okay. Reed Detmers at Milwaukee.
I like Reed Detmers. I think he's a very promising young pitcher for the Angels.
Wasn't he the one that got the no hitter last season from with the Angels?
Yes.
Was it last
Yep.
season or the season before? Something like that.
Last year.
Uh,
Last year.
Sean Manaea at San Diego.
No, I don't like Manaea.
That's a
I
little
think
revenge game, right? Because Sean
he,
Manaea was on the Padres last season.
yeah, but I see Manaea as a I think he's a bullpen guy now, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see. All right, Tyler McGill versus Atlanta.
No.
Garrett Whitlock versus Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Garrett Whitlock, if I have him on my roster already, I'm gonna go ahead and start him because
Mhm.
I'm trying to trust the process.
Yeah.
If he is out there in free agency, I'm not picking him up yet until
You need
he
to see
starts to
some
do better than
consistency.
until he starts to do better than other pitchers that I have on my team. I have to make the move make sense. You know, if
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
dropping someone to pick up Garrett Whitlock, it needs to be someone that's not doing so well either.
I agree.
All right, so Vince Velasquez at Washington,
Yeah.
Edward Cabrera versus the Cubs,
Yes.
Brad Keller at Minnesota,
No.
Matthew Boyd versus Baltimore,
Ooh. That's a toss up right there. I would say yeah.
Johnny Brito at Texas.
Man, he got shelled last game. I no. No.
All right, so that's it for Saturday. Now going into Sunday's weekend streamers, Chris Sale versus Cleveland.
Yeah.
Really?
Why
Oh,
not?
Sale lately has been looking like crap. He has like this like crazy like start where he looks like the old Chris Sale that we all knew and loved when he first went to Boston, and then
Yeah.
now it's like sometimes he has those starts where he'll just give up like 8 runs with no strikeouts, you know?
I
So
just don't
weird.
the Cleveland offense has been very up and down this season. Small sample size, I get it. But I mean the only dude that really hits there is Ramirez.
Yeah.
You know, everybody else, Naylor hasn't
But
been he hasn't been shit.
their second baseman's pretty good. I forgot his name. He was like in the top 10 for second baseman also.
Second baseman.
Yeah.
Oh, Jimenez.
There you go. Andres
Yeah.
Gimenez.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's good. I like him.
Yeah, yeah, but then, I
Uh,
think Cleveland's got a lot to work with, and once they get McKenzie back, that might
I
change.
feel like right now is the time to strike for Cleveland because with the White Sox not really doing so well, and a lot of people think that they were going to be, the division champs the last few seasons. Now it's really going to be between Cleveland and Minnesota. Those are the two teams that are really going to be the ones to watch when it comes to postseason or just during the regular season, just to see how they're doing like in general, to see
Right,
who could possibly win the division. It's going to be
right.
between those two. I wish
I
I
agree.
wish it was the White Sox because I love to see the talent.
Yep,
But like you said earlier, they're just not putting it together.
yep.
All right, Brady Singer at the Twins,
No.
Alex Cobb at the Padres,
Ooh, interesting. I'm gonna say yes.
Johan Oviedo at Washington.
Oh, he's been Yeah, one of those under the radar pitchers. I like him.
Nah, I mean he was on some top prospect lists, so he's been on my radar for a
But
while.
I mean, as far as like, would you have drafted him in fantasy baseball?
Maybe towards the later rounds as like one of those like I'm probably going to drop him anyway, so let's just see where it goes with it.
Right, right.
No one knew that he was going to come out of the gate running like this.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you do have Oviedo, hold on to him, or
Yeah,
you could trade him because his trade price is probably pretty high right now.
he
You can
even
get
pitched
something.
pretty good against the Dodgers, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely use him as some trade bait if you don't trust that he can sustain this throughout the season. Martin Perez versus the Yankees.
Oh, no, I don't like Perez. I've never been a Perez guy.
Noah Syndergaard versus St. Louis.
No.
Jose Urquidy versus Philadelphia.
Ooh, he's been horrible.
Yeah.
He's been horrible. No, stay
Yeah,
away.
even in the World Baseball Classic, he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Mike Clevenger versus Tampa.
Nope.
Mason Miller versus Cincinnati.
I like Mason Miller. I
Yeah,
like his stuff,
if it
man.
was at Cincinnati, I'd be a little weary of that,
Yeah.
because Cincinnati is like the second best hitters ballpark. But
Yeah.
since they're playing in Oakland, which is not
Yep.
going to be Oakland for very long,
Nope.
then I'd go ahead and start him also. This is one guy that I had, and I ended up dropping him just to make room for on my roster for I think it was Joe Musgrove that came back. Logan Allen from Cleveland at Boston.
Mm,
I really like Logan Allen.
yeah, I do. I like Allen. I think he's one of those young arms on there. They have a couple of young guys that are waiting in the minors, that are knocking on the door, and I think the last game, I think it was the only game he started. Right, he had one game mark,
Yes.
and he put on a pretty good stat line, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah, definitely.
And Cleveland has actually they have a really good track record for developing their pitchers. We saw that because what Clevenger is now is nothing to compare to what he was when he was with Cleveland. And
Yep,
Cleveland also had Trevor Bauer. They also had
yep,
Corey Kluber. All,
yep.
all these pitchers that were with Cleveland, Tristan McKenzie, all these
He's
pitchers that were
coming.
with
Yep.
Cleveland that excelled, and then they go to other teams and they're just not as good as they were.
Dude, and their
When
bullpen
they,
is pretty good too, man.
yeah,
They got one of the
Clase,
better.
Emmanuel
Yep,
Clase. He's
yep,
one of the best relievers in baseball.
yep.
All right, three more names: Josiah Gray versus Pittsburgh,
Nah, Pittsburgh's been hot, man.
Marco Gonzalez at Toronto,
Nope.
and Kyle Bradish at Detroit.
Bradish has been good. He's been really good since he came back from injury. So I'm gonna say yeah on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yeah also. All right, so moving on to the most added hitters. All right, so there's 5 names here. Spread these out so I can see them all. All right, these are the 5 hitters that were the most added in the last week, and I'm not going to give them to you in any general order. You just kind of tell me which one you would want to have the most, and just kind of give me your rankings on these 5. All right, so
Okay.
first we have Brandon Drury. Second, we have Brent Rooker. Third, we have Danny Jansen. Fourth, Joey Gallo. And fifth, CJ Abrams. So, which one of those do you like the best?
I like Drury. I was actually looking at him this morning. He was on the waiver. He's got first, second, and third base eligibility, which is awesome. Um, and it looks like he's putting his shit together, man. Um, I would put him, and then I would go Rooker. I mean, how many bright spots are there in the A's, really?
Not a lot.
Not many. So this dude, he's been raking. And then I would do Jansen just because you know what you're getting with Jansen, and catchers are very hard to find. Um, and then I would switch Abrams and Gallo. I like Abrams. He's a young dude, plays on a shitty team, but I always feel like Washington has like a bunch of young talent. If they can keep the core players that they have right now together, and I think later on down the line they're going to be a pretty good team. Um, but I would switch him with Gallo and have Gallo at the end. Gallo's, uh, he can hit bombs, but he strikes out a lot, and I've never really been a big Joey Gallo fan. But yeah, I would definitely if Drury's out there, I would pick him up. He's been a really hot batter right now. So and he, like I said, he's got first, second, and third base eligibility. So if he's out there, man, pick him up, scoop him up.
All right. So I actually have Brandon Drury as my number one also. He has 9 hits in his last 9 hits, including 4 home runs in his last 4 games, bringing his slash line to 256, 524, and 824.
Yeah.
He hits right behind the heart of the order in the Angels lineup, which means he's probably going to get a lot of RBIs. So,
Yep.
categories leagues, points leagues. This guy, I believe I didn't write down his ownership percentage. I know it's less than 70%. It's got to be close to that. So any 12 team leagues or more, I would definitely try to pick this guy up. A 10 team league, um, I'm sure you have someone in your lineup that might be a little bit better than Brandon Drury, unless you're in a league that has corner infield, middle infield, 2 utilities that has like those extra hitting slots that you could put him in. Then Brandon Drury is definitely a one that I
Oh
would
yeah.
recommend.
Hell yeah.
We've seen stretches from him in previous seasons when he was with the Diamondbacks and other teams where he hits like an all-star,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he has these stretches. So we'll see if this is just a hot streak
He's
or
a big utility guy, man. Like he always plays all these positions.
yeah.
And he gets on these streaks, man. And shit, man, I think he's a really good baseball player overall, man. Um, so if he's out there, dude, just scoop him up.
Yeah, in looking at his batting profile, I don't really see too much different. He's barreling up the ball very nicely. Last season he was at a 10.4. This season he's at a 10.7. So that's great to see. The one thing that I do not like from him at all, he has a 22% K percentage in his career, and this season he's at 31%. So he's striking out
Mm,
more. Um, Walks are about the same. He's at a 5.6% walk rate, and career is at a 6. So that's not really too much. I wonder if he's like, seeing those 4 home runs in his last 4 games. I wonder if he's kind of like selling out a little bit for contact and just trying to put the ball in the bleachers. Maybe he sees Otani and Judge. I mean Judge,
right.
Otani
Yeah,
and
that could be
Trout
the case.
just hitting these bombs, and he just wants to keep the mojo going. Probably gets so excited up there, he just wants to hit it as hard as he can, and
Like,
he's
I want to
having that
join.
Joey Gallo effect. He's having that Joey Gallo effect where you
Yeah.
just swing as hard as you can and hope for the best, and most of the time you're gonna miss.
Right. Right.
All right,
Right. That could be the
Brent,
case, man.
Brent Rooker, I like a little bit. He has 3 home runs since sitting out of a couple games with a leg injury. Recently, I think it was like a thigh bruising or something like that. Maybe he got hit by a pitch or something. I'm not sure. Um, he hits the ball hard, always has. He's always been known for his power in the minor leagues. The one thing that I really don't like about him, which you kind of already mentioned, is that he's in the A's lineup. And
Uh,
in a points league, that doesn't matter so much, but in a categories league, if you're looking for runs and RBIs, you're not going to get it from someone in the A's lineup unless they're hitting home runs. And
you know,
even if he hits 40 home runs for the season, he's probably only going to have about 80 RBI. Just because the lineup is so weak. Anyone else hits 40 home runs, they're probably going to have 115 RBI. So
yeah. Yep.
Categories leagues, I really wouldn't worry about Brent Rooker too much unless you're really like desperate for home runs. Then he does have that power. Other than that, I would really just go for points leagues. He actually has a 417 on base percentage, so he gets on base a lot. And that's one of the MOs from the A's anyway. Is they've always been about getting on base.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so yeah, points leagues, I definitely recommend Rooker. Categories leagues, if you're desperate for home runs, go ahead and go for it. Danny Jansen, I don't know about that one, man, just because he shares a lot of time with the other
Kirk.
catcher they have. What was that?
Kirk.
Yeah, Alejandro Kirk. There you go.
Yeah.
Alejandro Kirk and Danny Jansen. I think Kirk also shares some time at DH, but because they have so many good players on their team that they want to keep in the lineup, most of the time Toronto likes to put, rather than giving off a day to Vlad or Bichette, then they'll just put him in DH for a day. Maybe not Bichette so much
Yeah.
because he's so much younger, but a big guy like Vlad, like sometimes you want to give his legs a break and
Yeah.
just kind of give him like a mental break also. Just worry about hitting for the day. Danny Jansen
Right.
had 2 home runs in a single game, but he's only batting 188 on the season with a 660 OPS. So I don't really see too much to get excited about. Joey Gallo, Joey Gallo is actually having one of the best seasons of his career so far. Small sample size, it's only been 5 weeks, but he's hitting 261 with a 783 slugging percentage, 1141 OPS. 1141, that's freaking crazy.
Damn.
I know this guy hits the ball freaking hard, but
Yeah,
1141 OPS, that's crazy. Now, in my opinion, I
that's
think this
insane.
is just a hot streak, because I highly doubt that he can really like sustain this type of production.
Yeah.
But he has good plate discipline when it comes to pitches outside the zone, but he swings and misses a lot at pitches inside the zone. So he just doesn't have that like good contact skill. But
Yeah.
for a guy like Gallo right now, go ahead and ride the hot streak. It's probably not going to last very long, but ride it out as long as he keeps on hitting. If he has like a 3-game hitless streak, maybe it's time to consider start dropping him. And just kind of keep your eyes on the waiver wire and see if there's anyone else out there that might be worth adding and possibly dropping Joey Gallo. Yeah, and CJ Abrams, I'm not really too high on CJ Abrams. I was when he first came up into the league, but there's so many shortstops out there. I know he has second base eligibility also, but he's not the coveted guy that he once was. So I'll go ahead and pass on that one. Here we go. All right, moving on to the most added pitchers, and we already talked about this guy, Drew Smiley, in the 2-start pitcher preview that we were talking about earlier. So, Drew Smiley being the number 1 most added pitcher, I feel like it's very fitting. Just because of what I see in the underlying numbers, his regular season numbers, a 3.21 ERA, that's great. But his expected numbers, 2.35 ERA. That's what really gets me. He's getting a lot of swings and misses on his pitches. I like what I'm seeing.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so we already know that you like Drew Smiley the most. So I'm just gonna take him out of the equation, and I'm gonna give you these other 4 names, and you tell me which one you'd rather have the most. Mitch Keller, Yusei Kikuchi, Tyler Wells, and Alex Cobb.
Oh, that's easy. Keller. The guy's been pitching really good, and the way that the Pirates are playing right now, damn, I didn't see this coming at all. Everybody was looking at the Pirates as an afterthought. But their pitching has been really solid, dude. Really solid. Velasquez, like reemergence here, all of a sudden, he wants to pitch like a really good pitcher. Guys, Oviedo and Contreras. Keller is another young arm. Dude, their rotation, man, is looking really good, man. And I think Keller, it's it to me, it's either Keller or Ronzi that lineup at the top of that rotation. But I'll take Keller over all three of these other dudes any day.
Yeah, Mitch Keller, the one thing that stands out to me the most about him, his ERA doesn't look the greatest. It's at a 3.53, and that's still really good. It's not elite, but when you see the lineups that he's faced, and he has a 3.53 ERA, that's really what gets my attention. He's faced the Dodgers, St. Louis, and Houston, and he
Yeah,
posted quality starts in all three of those games. Honestly, I think
crazy.
that he should be rostered in all 12 plus team leagues. I don't think that he should be a free agent anywhere, but he is still under 70% owned, which is why he's on this list. So I completely
Yeah,
agree
that's
with you. Mitch
crazy.
Keller is definitely the one out of these four that I like the best. And then we got Yusei Kikuchi, Tyler Wells, and Alex Cobb. Which one of those do you like?
Um, damn. I'm putting Kikuchi Kikuchi at the end of that list, and I'll probably dabble with Tyler Wells just because he's a younger arm. Um, and then Cobb, Wells and Cobb.
Yeah, so I got Wells
Yeah.
next also. He has an ERA of 2.79, which he's been on the little
Mm-hmm.
bit of good luck. He's a fly ball pitcher, but he pitches in Camden, and being a fly ball pitcher, now that they raised the fence or move back the fence, the left field fence in Camden, it's actually not so bad anymore. It's becoming more of a pitcher's ballpark rather than a hitter's ballpark, which I
Right.
thought was actually going to be like a death sentence for Ryan Mountcastle because that's his pull side,
Yeah.
and most of his home runs
Yeah.
were getting pulled to left field. But he's still actually doing really well, so hasn't hurt him too much. But it's definitely been helping the
The
Baltimore
pitchers.
pitching staff. Yeah. So
Ugh.
ERA of 2.79, expected ERA of 3.13. He's keeping the
Not
opposition
bad.
at an average exit velocity of 89 miles per hour. The launch angle, on average, he's giving up a launch angle of 20 degrees. So um, that could possibly hurt him in the future. If that lowers just a little bit, because at 20 degrees, most of the time it's going to be caught in the outfield. It's not going to go far enough to get out of the park.
Yeah.
So hopefully he can sustain that. Alex Cobb is actually the one that I really don't want out of any of these three. I'd rather have Kikuchi than Cobb. So that's the only one that I think that we differ on.
Mm.
Alex Cobb has a combined 36 walks and hits in 28 innings of 28 innings this season. So he
Right.
has his whip is just kind of out of control. I see that as a recipe for disaster. He's in a good ballpark. He pitches in San Francisco, which is why I think his ERA is at a 191. It's hard to hit home runs in that ballpark, unless you're Barry
Yeah.
Bonds or Max Muncy.
Yep.
But that
Muncy owns that park, dude.
yeah, he does. He's one of the owners of the San Francisco Giants. So,
Damn
so
right.
Alex Cobb, the 191 ERA. The stat that I kind of also want to put out there is he's had 6 starts so far. How many wins do you think he has with a 191 ERA?
One.
He has 1 win with a 191
Yeah.
ERA. So that kind of shows you like what type of lineup that the San Francisco Giants have. So if he's not going to get the wins and he's giving up this many hits and walks every outing, it's not looking good for him. Yusei
Right.
Kikuchi has he was very like sought after when he first came up in the league, and a lot of people thought that he was going to be next best thing coming from Japan. We all thought that he was going to be great, but it's
Yeah.
kind of he's like
Maeda.
he's like my idol now. You never know what to expect from
Matter of
Yusei
fact,
Kikuchi.
yep.
It's
Yep.
hard to
I
it's
think
hard
that's
to
why I
even,
have him at the bottom of my list because
he's so
I don't
inconsistent.
know.
He'll
Yeah,
go out there and he'll
I
have
don't.
the like a 9
So if he
strikeout
can,
game versus the Rays, and then the next game he'll give up 3
yes,
home runs to
yep,
one team in 4 innings, and
yeah,
his ERA is at 3 right now,
yeah.
which is not so bad, but his expected ERA is at 4.69. So I'm kind of inclined to agree
Ooh.
with you towards the bottom of this list. I do have Alex Cobb just a little bit lower. Okay, so that does it for that. We had one more. Oh, that's right. Is he
Hot or
legit or
homie.
no? Forgot about this one. Let me grab my notes on that real quick. All right, so I asked you to pick one player that's been somewhat of a hot streak, and I asked you the question: is he legit or not? So your choice was Patrick Wisdom of the Cubs. So what do you think? Is he legit or not?
Shit. So this dude hit, right? He's in his sixth season, um, in baseball. Um, Played for three different teams. He's done, uh, which kind of sucks because people were expecting this kind of production from him earlier in his career, and it didn't really pan out. But right now he's hitting 241, 18 RBIs. His OPS is 954. He's struck out 30 times already, which is like a lot. But um, I think he is a legit bat in the Cubs lineup. Um, there's obviously gonna be some regression. I don't think he's gonna keep up this kind of pace. I think he's like right behind Pete Alonso as far as home runs go. Um, think about what was it in 21? Was it 2021? He had his rookie season, right? Was it rookie season 2021?
I don't know. Probably.
Well, he came in fourth place in his rookie voting, 28 home runs. So you're thinking like, damn, like this guy's legit, but he's been very up and down for me, from what I've seen. Um, but I think he's legit. I think he's legit. The Cubs team, in general, has a lot of good young pieces. Um, and I mean, I like Patrick Wisdom, man. I like Patrick Wisdom. I
Yeah,
think he's legit.
especially because of that third base eligibility, because third base has
Yeah.
been kind of crap this season. So it's nice to see something like this on the waiver wire. So he's actually not so young. He's 31 years old. His rookie
Yeah.
season was in 2018. He's just been kind of
Oh,
under the
okay. So off
radar.
by 3 years.
He only saw 236 pitches in 2018, and he really didn't have his like breakout season, which you were right, until 2021, which he was 29 years old at that time. Um,
Yeah.
so this season, the biggest thing that I actually see from Patrick Wisdom, every year he hits the ball pretty hard, 90 miles an hour, 91 miles an hour on average exit velocity. This season, he's actually at a 94.6. So he's hitting the ball harder than ever. He has a expected batting average of 247, which is the best of his career so far. Striking out actually a little bit less than normal. So in 2021, he was striking out at 41%, and last year at 34.5%. Now he's at 32.6%. So 30% is still pretty high. You don't want your hitters to be striking out that often, but when you're producing this type of power, it's kind of like give and take. So you
It
got
kind
to
of
kind
balances
of
itself out. Yeah.
take the bad with the good. Are the home runs enough where you
Yeah.
can kind of just be like, it's all right. He had a 4 strikeout game because he got me 2 home runs yesterday. You know. So Patrick Wisdom, I do like what I'm seeing. He has 6 home runs in his last 10 games. Um, I think just like I said with Joey Gallo earlier, just kind of ride the hot streak and see where it takes you.
Yeah.
If he starts to slow down a little bit, hold on to him or don't. That's your choice. If there's something else out there that might be a little interesting that you can drop him for, that's also that's always like kind of on my mind. Like I'm looking whenever I look in free agency, if there's no one that I really want to drop in my lineup, then I don't even really bother. I always add them to my watch list to kind of, keep them there. So
Yeah.
when I do have a feeling like I want to drop a hitter, then I go over to my watch list and see if anyone is still available. Most of the time, they've already gotten picked up because other people have gotten smart enough by then to pick that guy up.
Right.
But I think the power is legit with Patrick Wisdom, and first base and third base are a little shallow. Outfield's a little shallow as well, which I think he's eligible in all three positions. So I really like your pick on that one.
Yep.
So my player that I want to talk about, is he legit or not, is Mauricio Dubon, who's eligible at second base, shortstop, and outfield. He's 28 years old. We saw him with the San Francisco Giants last season. He had some bright spots this year on the Astros. Now that Chas McCormick was injured, Mauricio Dubon's actually batting leadoff for the Houston Astros. And
that's crazy.
That is an amazing trait to have as a fantasy option, to be the leadoff hitter of one of the highest scoring teams in baseball. He has a 20 game hitting streak going on right now. Like I said,
That's
he's
insane,
batting
bro.
leadoff for one of the best out there. He hasn't really faced any real aces, though. That's what I kind of noticed. I was going over his game log, and I believe the best pitcher that he had faced this season was like Tyler Mahle or someone like not so great. He hasn't faced a Garrett Cole yet, or even like someone that's not as good as like those guys, like a Yu Darvish. He hasn't had too much of a test yet. So let's see where it goes from there. But you can't deny the contact skills. He's batting over 300. He's at 330 right now with an expected batting average of 316. On base percentage is not so great. It's only 25 points higher than his batting average. Slugging, he doesn't really hit the ball too hard. I believe out of all the hits he has this season, only 6 of them were extra base hits. Out of like 30 something. So don't expect his RBI numbers to be so high, because he does hit at the top of the order, and he's a single specialist with a couple of doubles mixed in there, but not really any home runs. Doesn't really have a lot of speed. Mostly like his on base skills are really going to be just what he does with the bat. Doesn't walk a lot. But yeah, if he keeps on hitting, and he's in the top of the Astros lineup, he's a great fantasy option to have.
Man, write it out, man.
Yeah. So we are at an hour and 7 minutes, and it's basically the end of our show. We are going to be back on tonight with Carlos and Ernie Orange from our Monday show. So if you guys want to tune in, we are actually getting on in a little bit less than 2 hours at 7 o'clock Pacific time and 10 o'clock Eastern time. So I am Will Power, and this was Hobby the Commish, and we are Real Talk Fantasy Baseball signing out. And if you guys have any questions about fantasy baseball or baseball in general, you can get to us at Real Talk Baseball at yahoo.com, or log into our Instagram. You can go ahead and send us messages on there. We also have a Twitter. You want to type just the letter R. It's R Talk Baseball. And we have TikTok as well, Real Talk Baseball. So we are available on most social media streams. And soon, hopefully, we're going to get on Spotify as well. For those people that don't want to see our beautiful faces, you can just hear our beautiful voices instead.
Just imagine it.
All right. So we will see you guys in a little bit less than 2 hours. Will Power and Hobby the Commish signing out. See you guys.
Peace, y'all.